Welcome back to our series, Nobody Tells You This About Money. Today, we're diving into something that feels like a genius money hack but can actually be a trap. Buy now, pay later. We're going to talk about why it's absolutely still debt, and maybe more importantly, how it's literally designed to change the way you spend your money. Let's get right into it. You know, this quote really hits the nail on the head. That super easy yes you make at the checkout, that can turn into one of the most stressful financial months you have down the road. Breaking a big price into these tiny bite-sized pieces, it doesn't just make it feel more affordable, it makes the whole purchase feel less serious. But trust me, the consequences are very, very real. So let's dig into the psychology here. Why does this work so well on our brains? Well, it's all about creating something I like to call the small payment illusion. I mean, think about it. It's all about emotion, not math. 4 payments of $25 just feels so much gentler, so much lighter than seeing $100 vanish from your account all at once. That feeling of, oh, I can totally manage this. That's not an accident. It's exactly what these services are designed to make you feel. Okay, and this brings us to a really crucial point. We need to redefine something. We usually think of debt as, a big bank loan or a scary credit card with high interest. But let's just strip it all down. If you bought something today and now you owe money for it in the future, you've already spent a piece of your future income. It's already been assigned to a decision you made in the past. That's it. Simple as that. No complex financial jargon, no talk about interest rates, not yet anyway. It's just a promise you made with your future money. And that, my friends, is debt. And once you start seeing it that way, oh man, everything changes. And seeing it that way is so important because this whole small payment thing, it doesn't just feel different, it actually makes us behave differently. This right here shows the huge mental shift that happens. We completely stop asking ourselves, do I really want to spend $100 on this thing? Instead, the question becomes, can I handle $25 right now? And let's be honest, the answer to that second question is almost always yes. It completely reframes how we judge the purchase. So what we're losing here is something called financial friction. You know that little pause, that moment of hesitation when you see the full price tag and you kind of wince a little? That's actually a good thing. It's a protective mechanism. It gives you a second to think, to really feel the weight of the cost, and ask, do I truly need this in my life? Buy now, pay later is specifically engineered to get rid of that friction, so more of your impulse buys can slip right through. And this is where the real danger sneaks in. It's usually not that one big purchase that gets you, but the slow, quiet accumulation of lots of little ones. This is what we call the danger of stacking. On its own, one little payment plan feels totally harmless, right? It's easy to keep track of, easy to manage. It doesn't feel like it's making any real dent in your finances. No big deal. But because that first one felt so easy, it's incredibly tempting to add another one. And then, well, why not another? The thing is, you're making all these decisions one by one. But the bills, they all decide to show up for the party at the same time. And this is what that looks like in the real world, a crowded month. You pay your big stuff like rent and groceries, and then those small payments start rolling in. $50 here, $25 there. On their own, they seem fine, but when you stack them all together, they put a serious squeeze on your cash flow and just eat away at your financial breathing room. Now, I know what a lot of you are probably thinking, but wait a minute, it's interest-free. How can it possibly be bad if there's no interest? This, right here, is probably the biggest myth of them all. Let's call it the no interest trap. And this is the point I really want you to remember. No interest absolutely does not mean no risk. It only tells you about one type of cost. It says nothing about whether you can actually afford it or if it's going to make your next month feel super tight and stressful. Because look, interest is just one kind of cost. There are so many others. That pressure on your cash flow, that's a cost. Losing the flexibility to handle an unexpected car repair, that's a cost. Not being able to save as much as you wanted to, yep, that's a cost. And maybe the biggest one of all is the change in your behavior that just leads you to spend more. That is a huge cost. So instead of asking if something has interest, we need to ask a way better, way more honest question. Does this decision make my financial life stronger, or is it just going to make it feel more crowded? That question cuts right to the heart of what really matters. Okay, so we've kind of unpacked the problem. Now, what do we actually do about it? How do we navigate this whole thing with our eyes open? let's walk through 5 really practical steps to get some clarity back into our spending choices. All right, let's break these down. Step 1, before you click buy, mentally force yourself to see the full price again. Would you still do it? Step 2, add up all your little payment plans. See what that total number really is. Step 3, forget the interest rate. Your real test is cash flow. Will this make next month feel tight? Step 4, be super careful when it's for something you don't actually need. And step 5, actively protect the person you're going to be next month. They're the one who has to pay for all this. At the end of the day, this isn't just about shuffling payments around. It's about a much deeper shift in how we see things. It's about redefining debt so we can start reclaiming our own financial freedom. And this right here is the key takeaway for this whole explainer. Real financial strength isn't built by finding clever ways to make payments look smaller. It's built by reducing how many promises you've made with your future income. It's about creating more space in your budget and more freedom in your life. So I'm going to leave you with this question one last time. The next time you're about to buy something, I don't care if it's with cash, a credit card, or a buy now, pay later plan, just pause for 1 second and ask yourself this. Does this choice make my financial life stronger, or does it make it more crowded? I promise you, the answer will tell you everything you really need to know.